days, from today until next Sunday, everyone, even if you don't know people in the street, they greet each other with this formula. Christ is risen, and the other person, even a stranger, will answer to you, He's truly risen. So let's greet each other in a Christian way. Christ is risen.
He is truly risen.
Let's try it again, pero wag yung mukhang Biyernes Santo. Christ is risen.
He is truly risen.
Totoo ba?
Yes.
You know, the story of the resurrection is very hard to believe, and even more hard to live out in our life. It is hard to believe that a man came back from the tomb. Some people do believe, You know the story of this lady who went finally, it was her dream to go to Holy Land, because she went all around the world, but she didn't go to Holy Land. So she finally dragged her husband. I want to go to Holy Land. So, husbands, I guess to make your wife happy and to make your life bearable, he followed the wife to Holy Land. But when they were visiting the holy places, something happened, and the wife fell very sick, and finally, the wife died in Holy Land. The husband didn't know what to do, so he went to the hospital officials and said, "What should I do? I should bring my wife home for burial." And they said, "Look, if you want, you have to bring her back to the States, but it's going to be quite costly. It's about, the permission and the air, the special air transportation and all that is about $20,000. $20,000? That's too much. I don't have that money. But you can bury her here if you want. And if you bury her here, it's only $500. $500? And I said, "Okay, can you give me just a little time for thinking about it?" "Okay, I'll give you 1 hour. We'll wait for you." So the man goes away, he starts thinking and praying, and then he goes back to the officer there and said, "Okay, I have decided. Okay, so you will bury her here?" No. I will bring her home." I said, "Wow, you loved your wife so much." "No, that's not the point. The other day we went to the Holy Sepulchre, and the guide told us that a few years back there was a man who was buried here, and after 3 days he came back to life. I'm not taking chances. I'll pay 20,000. Some people believe in the resurrection. They take it seriously. The readings of today speak about something that has to be believed. The women went to the tomb, and what did they see? They just saw a tomb, an empty tomb. Is the empty tomb the proof of the resurrection? It is not in itself. That is why you remember that the Jews in the Gospel of Matthew put guards there, because his disciples will go and try to steal him at night, and then, because they've been telling this story that after 3 days he will rise, and then pretend that really happened. So you can look at it from different perspectives. But what is important is this. I don't know if you've noticed in the first reading of today, how many times we hear the word witness. It is repeated over and over again. It says, we are, the apostles, we are witnesses of all that happened in the country of the Jews and in Jerusalem. They put him to death and then hanging on a tree. Then this man raised on the 3rd day and granted that he be visible not only to the people there, but also to us, the witnesses chosen by God in advance. We ate and drank with him after he rose from the dead. He commissioned us to preach to the people and testify that he is the one appointed by God as judge of the living and the dead. To him all the prophets bear witness that everyone who believes in him will receive forgiveness of sins through him. There are people who witnessed the resurrection physically. They ate and drank with the risen Lord. But what about us? Look, the story of the gospel today is very important because we can have two attitudes in front of this celebration of the resurrection of Christ. One is like the women. The natural thing when someone dies, when you go to a wake, you don't expect the dead not to be around. When you go to pay your respects to someone who died, it is because you know that the person is dead and the family are mourning. So this is the attitude of the women. It's a practical attitude. This is life. At the end of life, we die. There is nothing you can do about it. So the women go there and they expect to find a dead man. They forgot all about the prophecies. They forgot about Jesus telling them, I will rise after 3 days. Death is the end of it. Kaya sinasabi, kahit anong wika, di ba? Habang may buhay, may pag-asa. When you die, there is no more hope. There is nothing to hope for. It is the end. Not for Christianity. So these women go there and they expect nothing. And because they expect nothing, they see nothing. It is very important that the resurrection finds me and finds you looking for the one who is alive. Because the central word in this gospel is the question of the angels. Why are you looking for the one who is alive among the dead? You know, it may be that some of us today are looking for Jesus in places where Jesus cannot be found. That our focus is on whatever problems we have, whatever struggles we have, whatever uncertainties we have, whatever anxieties we have. We're looking for the Lord there, in that darkness that tells us that things are not supposed to be this way, and you cannot find Him because He isn't there. He's to be found in light. In light. That is why there is this wonderful image in the gospel of the stone which is rolled away from the tomb. The tomb is a cave, and in this cave is like a mouth that swallows everyone in. And once you swallow them, you cannot go out anymore. Jesus is the one taking away the cover of the stone, of the cave, of the tomb, of this mouth, meaning He's given the possibility for light to enter into the tomb. Now the thing is this, are you looking for Jesus today in a place of darkness? Or are you looking for Jesus in a place of light? Because I invite you to do this day, to look for Jesus in your life in the places of light. How many places of light do you have in your life today? Look for Jesus there, and you'll find Him. If we keep looking for Jesus this way, we won't be seeing Him though He's next to us. So the question today for the whole church and for us here, as Christ is truly risen, is alive, is a wonderful feeling, that of knowing that Christ is alive next to me, walking with me, defending me, inspiring me, blessing me. But I have to see Him. How? Think of the places of light in your life and renounce darkness. Because Christ, our Passover, our light, is truly risen. He is waiting for us to see Him. Are you looking at light or at darkness?